Hello, welcome to Studio Nicole. I'm Nicole, and I'm so glad that you're here. Today, we're going to do a flip through. I pulled out this little journal, and it is not entirely complete. There are a few pages in the back that are unfinished, but it's as complete as it's going to get. I am not going to go back and fill this in anymore, so we're going to call this one done. I pulled this one specifically because I want to spend a little bit of time looking at the style of this journal. It's a very specific kind of style. If you've ever watched Adele Toomey on Let's Get Inky or Inkie Quill, it very much um, is inspired by her traveler's notebook journaling style. And I started this in 2020, March of 2020, when everything went crazy. I just thought it would be a good time to try something new. So this documents most of that year, I think. And it's not really in chronological order, but it is a new style for me. And I'm thinking about revisiting this style for a new journal that I want to start. I want to put together an adventure journal. I think that would be super fun to make. And I have been racking my brain trying to figure out, like, do I want a theme or a style? Do I want it more like a scrapbook or more like an art journal? Um, and I think I've landed on this style. So let's take a look at it and you guys tell me what you think. Do you like this kind of style of, it's a cross between art and collage and scrapbooking. So let me know. Let me know what you think. So I start out on the inside. I just did the inside of the cover and the first page. I've got some journaling here. I have some hand lettering. This was March of 2020, and the page title was Stay Home. It was the beginning of all of the craziness. These are some pictures of Walmart's just completely empty shelves. And I just did a little bit of journaling about, how wild it was. It was definitely wild. The next page says, what do you do during a quarantine? And so I just documented some of the things that we were doing to spend our time. I was still working. All of my classes converted to Zoom classes, so I was learning Zoom because we hadn't really used that a lot. We did end up buying some land in Tennessee during the quarantine. That was an interesting experience. We played a lot of Catan and a lot of video games and just board games in general. So we got Animal Crossing like half the world did, and I played that a ton. World of Goo is another favorite. I started working on a puzzle. So we just did some crazy, quarantine stuff. I did a whole spread about Settlers of Catan, which is seriously one of our favorite games as a family. We played it nonstop, and even after the quarantine was over, we played it a lot. For Valentine's Day 2020, my husband. So, yeah, this was even before the quarantine, actually. We had gotten this, I think, for Christmas the year previous. My husband had this family portrait of us done that is it mimics the Simpsons style of animation, but it's all four of us sitting around playing a game of Catan. So I just did some journaling and put in some photos of us playing that game. It's a really cool board game if you've never played it. I totally recommend it. I did a page about swaps. I don't love the hand lettering on this page, but I was just trying different styles and different decorative elements. I do love setting up swaps, so I just have some like address labels and some things. There's some little notes and whatnot about setting up swaps. I do a lot of swaps on Facebook. It's always fun to get Happy Mail and to get stuff in the mail that I'm not expecting. The page title on this one is Roll Initiative, and I was documenting my son and I playing D&D. We started playing in May of 2019, and we still are playing. We have a play D&D next week. As a matter of fact, we have a night picked out. So It's really been a lot of fun. My husband and younger son are not that interested, but my older son and I have played several campaigns. Also, biking is a theme. If you've been following any of my creative journaling, you'll know that I'm currently doing 100 days of 100 days of biking. And I love to bike, so yeah, this was just documenting a bike ride in March. Pictures of my son and I just biking. The note here says 49 degrees is definitely not too cold to ride your bike to Royal Farms for a cherry slushy. So that's what I was doing. We did a lot of outside stuff because, you could get outside and not be stuck in your house. This one is just documenting a poem that my son had to memorize for a class. And it's the poem there. It's well, a sonnet. And we just practiced and practiced and practiced. And he was just cracking up. He would laugh every time he tried to do it. And so we were taking a bunch of pictures. This is our dog. His name is Flash. So we're just documenting. I'm sorry about the glare. I'm trying to like tilt the page so that there's no glare, but it's hard to see. We're just documenting some pictures of the dog and the kids. Um, he's like climbing all over us here. It's so funny. All right. We have a page about Mario Kart. This was another fun game that we all like to play. So we would all pile in. This is my son's room. We were all kind of piled in on the carpet playing Mario Kart together. That, again, is still a favorite activity. We still do that. This page is things that make me happy, and I was inspired by some of the sticker packs that I had and some washi tape. And so I started by sticking in pictures of all the little things that make me happy. And then I started handwriting in other things. So there are lots of there are people's names and hobbies and um, just all kinds of things that make me happy. Nice dinners out, fonts, writing, Sunday mornings, sleeping in, um, maps, globes, vacation, some of my favorite books, waterfalls, bridges, mountains, trees, trails, sunsets. So I just wanted to document some of the things that made me happy. This is a very colorful page. I titled it Make Art, and I love the hand lettering on this page. I think it turned out beautifully. And I was just documenting some art projects that I have been working on at this time. This is some jelly printing that I had done. The background is some washi tape and some jelly prints. That's what I liked about this style, that there were photos, but there were also like mixed media elements on some of the pages. Like I've got some washi tape, decorate and some decorative stickers. Some of the pages, which I guess we haven't got there yet, some of the pages, well, this one has like some blue and green watercolor. This is a D&D character sheet that I photocopied and then colored with. It looks like maybe gelatos. All right, what do we've got? This one says, let's go outside. And it's just documenting some time hanging out in the backyard. This is me and my son just hanging out on the hammock in the backyard. This is me again reading on the hammock. That looks like Pride and Prejudice, which would make sense because that's one of my favorite books, but I think that's what that is. Another picture of the dog. Some pretty washi tape and stickers. This one was tough. This is testing. My son had to go in and get some testing done to be diagnosed with celiac disease. And so, it's always hard to see your kid go through that. So I just did some journaling about that. This was a fun one. I took a couple of pictures of this little like hand cast. So Evan bought this for Christmas. They did it together. And it was just kind of a cute little thing. It was a cute memory. I should take a picture of the finished cast and put it in here somehow retroactively. This was a great one. So, Pack Up and Go is a company that does surprise vacations. It's like a surprise travel agency. And my husband got me a gift certificate for this for maybe yeah, it says right here for my birthday last year. And so we ended up going in December of 2020, and you don't know where you're going. You pay for the trip, you give them some parameters, how far you want to fly or drive or whatever, um and then they pick a destination and plan the whole thing for you. And it was so much fun. We ended up going to Hershey. That was our, I don't know if you can read that. Oh, you're going to Hershey, Pennsylvania. And so we opened this, I don't know if it was the night before, I think it might have been the morning of. Like we were all packed and ready to go, bags by the door. We were driving. We knew it was going to be within 3 hours. And then, yeah, I think we opened it the morning we left. So this is us. Yeah, because everybody's got their headphones and stuff on. We were like ready to go. We were heading out the door. So these are just a couple of pictures from the trip. It was a fun activity. I loved the surprise of it and not knowing. I was documenting the fact that we were all playing basketball a lot. Again, it was another let's be outside and not stuck in the house activity. So we just all enjoyed playing. We did a lot of that. What's cooking? So these are just documenting both of my kids cooking. I think in this one it looks like fried chicken, and this one is obviously burgers on the grill, making patties. My kids were, I want to say they turned, yeah, because we have a birthday one in here, I think. Yeah. They turned 14 and 16 in 2020. So in this summer, they were probably around 14 and 16, I guess, at this time. Or 13 and 15 if it was before their birthdays. Hard to tell. Um, but yeah, I made a little note in here and it says, "Dear future daughter-in-law, I promise I'm trying to preload them with important software." So, I just want them to be able to carry their weight. We did a page on Hunt a Killer, which is a really cool game. I mean, there are multiple games in the Hunt a Killer brand, and they're what they are is there are a bunch of clues, and you have to open all the clues and solve like a crime, a murder or something. And it's very realistic. Like there are like crime scene photos and fingerprinting, and there are maps, and there are things, and they give you like a little in one of them we had a little flashlight, like a black light flashlight, and a couple of the items had clues and stuff on them. It was just really neat. It was a super fun activity. We did it all together as a family, and I think we've done 3 of them all together, because there are different like stories, there are different crimes to solve. It's a lot of fun. Some of them you can get sent to your house like a little bit at a time. And I think that was this first one that we did like this. It was a 6-month subscription box. But you can also buy them like all contained in one box where you just buy the whole thing and then you have everything you need to solve the murder. But if that sounds fun, it's definitely a cool thing to try. This one says stay off the sidewalk because, yeah, we had a new driver in the house. So I was documenting that a little bit. It's definitely interesting as a parent when your kids get to that stage. The caption on this page is just being silly. I did some journaling and took some photos of Evan and I in face masks. So oh, dropped it and got slippery. Yeah, so we were just being silly and having a great time. This one is about the Chapel Branch Nature Trail, which is a hike, but also you can bike it as well, although some parts of it are a little steep for biking. It's a great place. It's just a calm, quiet retreat from everything. So this particular day, I think Evan was sleeping in, so Austin and I were biking together. I also think, just incidentally, this was the day that I met one of the board members of the conservancy that manages this land. And he invited me to come to a board meeting. And here I am 5 years later. I'm on the board and I manage their website and I just did their newsletter. So, that was a serendipitous day, I guess. This one says, life is better when you're laughing. And it says in the journaling here, it says, I don't even know what we were laughing about, but does it really matter? So we were just cracking up, trying to get a picture of the dog, probably. And we were just having a good time. So I was just documenting that. This was the 100-Day Project 2020. I wanted to spend a few minutes documenting my journey to learn hand lettering. So I bought some books and lots of different kinds of markers and supplies. I mean, some of those I already had, but I gathered them all together. And then I just started working through various projects. Some of them were projects that I found in the books that I bought. Some of them were things that I saw online that I tried to mimic and copy. And some of them were just my own, handwriting. I was just practicing random words. This, Nicole, I did in rainbow watercolor, and this has become, years later now, this has become the logo for Studio Nicole. So that's what I'm using as a logo. It started back in 2020. This was just about the boys' birthdays. They turned 14 and 16. Their birthdays are about a month apart, so we just sometimes we kind of we'll celebrate each boy individually on their day, but then we sometimes have like a party in the middle for both of them. And with 2020, we were all in quarantine, and so it was a little bit of a challenge anyway. I don't know if you can see this picture. We have the cake in front of a laptop with Zoom pulled up, and we have a bunch of family members on Zoom singing happy birthday to Austin here. That glare, I'm so sorry. I keep trying to move around. And that is the last page. That's it. That's where we end the book. I didn't get anywhere past that. And like I said, I'm not going to go back now and start putting more photos in. It's been 5 years. I'm not going to keep, and I don't want to put current stuff in here. So I'm just going to call this done. But it was a fun little flip through. I enjoyed looking at it. And I think after looking at it, I am very convinced that I want to use this same style when I do my adventure journal. So photos, I did some matting. I think almost all of the photos are matted in some way. So you've got a little bit more, just a little more contrast and a little bit more impact on the page, and lots of washi tape, lots of journaling, lots of hand lettering, and lots of stickers. And yeah, I think that even though each page is different and takes a different topic and a different color palette, I think they feel very cohesive. They all feel like they're in a similar style. And so I think this is what I'm going to do. Going back through this flip through has definitely cemented that idea for me. Definitely going to do that. So I appreciate you hanging out here with me today and looking through this. I really enjoyed it. I hope that you enjoyed it. And trying to find that art one again, because that was probably my favorite page. I love the colors. There it is. All right. That's where I want to end because I love this page. I appreciate you guys being here. Thanks for joining me. I hope I see you in the next video.